Hi, my name is Joseph DeLaunay, and this is my capstone presentation, Give and Take Conservation of Our Landscapes. I'll start with my thesis statement. With increasing access to personal devices and technology, people have a higher demand for digital stimulation for entertainment and education. Cognitive load theory illustrates the importance of physicality, called the human movement effect, and the importance of working memory for information retention. The increase of newer technologies have users more engaged with multiple device sources at once than ever before. By employing more interactive technologies alongside traditional media, designers can craft exhibits that satisfy a tech-savvy audience while encouraging longer-lasting retention and understanding of the subject matter at hand. So cognitive load theory is a psychological theory that was developed for instructional design, and it's been sort of the basis of that for the last few decades. Simply put, it's the way people take in information and put it into long-term memory. And what I'm really focusing on is that working memory, the step between a short-term memory that can get lost and long-term memory where you really want to encode everything. So that rehearsal is where a lot of effects have been studied. And the one I'm focusing on is human movement effect, which means that physically interacting with information and playing with it with multiple different ways and senses is a very effective way of rehearsing that information in your working memory to encode it into your long-term memory. So translating that into the exhibition setting, and since the real goal of exhibitions is to get people to instill the values into them and understand the subject matter and hopefully take action upon what they have learned outside of the exhibit. It sort of goes in this order of immersing, informing, and using interaction as that working rehearsal to then instill those values that you can then use in actions later. So the subject matter that fits my research and should be very effective was conservationism and the interaction between diverse landscapes. And more specifically, putting in the immerse, inform, and interact along with these subject lines and deeper looking into these subjects to get a better understanding and sort of give people perspective on this they have not quite challenged their minds with before and work with. So the audience, since this is going to be a special exhibit in an existing museum with already a large, diverse audience, I'm going to narrow it down a little bit to focus more on tech-savvy young adults and open mind and also scholars. And it sort of gives a better chance for people to become more engaged and already sort of have a preconception of the subject matter and be able to sort of challenge that a little bit so then they have a better chance of really working with what they have. The client, National Science Foundation, they love funding projects like this. They've got a lot of money, of course, but it's really in their core values that they want to devote to public service, collaboration, and community. And this is really all about, protecting the environment and having the community play a huge role into that. And cites American Museum of Natural History in Manhattan. Seems like the perfect place in the large, dense city area. Gives people the opportunity to really see nature and be able to feel the dichotomy between a dense metropolis, the use of technology, and the education of environmentalism that they may not have access to all the time. So walking up to the museum introduces you to this form, these two landscapes, these horizons that I'll be playing with throughout the exhibit, and it will lead you up to the third gallery, which is really quick, right up the stairs out of the main entrance. And you'll see these wayfinding elements throughout the museum to sort of guide you to it without spelling it out, but giving you a sense to get there. So this is the space, Gallery 3. It's 9,000 square feet, and it's a long form factor. Goes through 8 areas. I wanted to make it very intentionally linear so it can build off sequentially. Each activity has meaning from one leads into another, sort of going through that immerse, interact format and knowing how they will play off each other in that way. So exhibit entrance, it's right at the dead end of another exhibit. I really wanted to have it sort of transition you and introduce you to those two landscapes, and you're sort of merging in between them and the duality. And it's also where you get your tickets checked. That leads you into the intro wall, and really simple. I want it to be a high contrast area, really dark, bring you out of the environment that you've already probably been in, going through a whole bunch of exhibits. It's sort of the same lighting within AMNH. and start you off with sort of a clean slate to start that journey with. And then brings you into pluck your leaf. In this area, this hallway has walls covered in these bushes that are actually these seed paper leaves attached to wristbands for your RFID. So people will be told to pick these and use them to sort of start every activity to keep your progress, and also to represent sort of growth, the tangential meaning of the growth of how you're working towards a better environment and the growth of what you're going to bring home with this later on. And then leading to that is the windows to unfamiliar landscapes. So this introduces the idea that landscapes are a lot more diverse than you would like to think, especially even just within the United States. It gives with these portals, windows, with these multiple layers of sort of custom cut photographs that have this parallaxing effect as you walk by them, and you sort of scan and get extra senses, lighted up, sounds, wind, and the whole sky is lit up with a LED whitewash simulating moving sky, and these other forms that are these custom cut honeycomb cardboard representing rock formations and tree trunks. Leading into that is the landscape sim table. So this is the first chance people really get to use their preconceived knowledge on conservation, environmentalism, to manipulate a landscape in this sort of simulation of building mountains, hills, forests, urban areas, agriculture, and this gives them the opportunity to play with that without getting the information fed to them. It works off of the give and take of you pushing down something building somewhere else, affecting something else, and then you sort of get feedback on this progression meter that tells you it will go up and down very simply positively, and then give you a little hint after you do something, sort of saying what you've done and how it's affected it, and maybe if something could have been done better. And then usually the roadmap for climate solutions is based off research from the Conservation International. It's this timeline they've developed and found sort of the key roles within society and the ecosystem that really need to change and put the work in to have like a carbon net neutral future. So there's a little more information heavy of a section. So I sort of give multiple paths of information that people can take in. They can just look at the timeline, see sort of the few key concepts within agriculture, climate solutions, or they can distill down into each other ones in smaller paragraphs, or they can interact with the touch tables to sort of go through the timelines into more detail, get into these graphs, maybe what exactly has already been done, some possible future solutions. This sort of brings in like the real lesson after you've already been immersed and started caring emotionally about it, played with the preconceptions already, and this sort of feeds you the information that it really wants to get to you in this exhibit. So then you're given the chance of the key role player section to use the information that you've just been taught after sort of a different from the sim table, that it gives you the choice of already made climate solutions, and you have to pick from already effective climate solutions which is more effective. And you'll be doing that through a perspective of a specific role. So you'll be playing with 3 other people. There'll be 4 people in total on these touchscreens, and they are the policymaker, business owner, agriculturalist, and average citizen. So a big part of this is showing the sort of contrast and impact that you can have between sort of the average citizen and these key players supporting from that Conservation International research. And then next you get into reflecting on change. It gives you a chance to just look back, summation of some of the information on these mirrored walls. There's also a good photo opportunity, of course. Reintroduces the ideas, gives you time to process what you've done and learn, and also gives you a big picturesque projection of, idealist future. If things go right, we imply these things, we can have much more greener cities, having landscapes really live under one atmosphere like they really should, instead of being so separated in this dichotomy that they've always lived under the same place, and it's really employing that together at once. And at the end is the parting actions. This is where you take your RFID band that you got before in the beginning. They've been scanning everything, of course. You rip off the seat paper to take home with you, and then you deposit and recycle the wristband. It'll automatically scan it, track your progress, and if you've done all the activities, it'll sort of show like your progress through it, so that you've helped and be a part of the conservation effort. And it'll give you a reward of a 1-day pass to a national park if you're choosing. So after that, it also gives you this option right before you finish and leave to contact your local representatives. You'll either have a couple options of a pre-written letter that's about the exhibit that you can just say like, all right, here's where I'm from, exactly where it is, have it directly contacted to them, or you can just use it as a database to look it up and use it contact information from your own, because this is really all about, of course, being able to have the museum exhibit immerse you, inform you, you interact with it, and it's instilling those values so you act upon it later into your long-term memory, values, and act upon it later. And that's the goal. Thank you so much.